Hey everyone, how are we? It's Tuesday and you're very welcome along to the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig, and as always, this is your show. You let me know what you want to talk about. I'm here to read your comments, talk about the topics of the day, whether they be LFC related or not. Let's see how everybody's feeling. Let's say hello to a few people who are in the chat. David Rowith, Dauntless Always, PC Salah, Lewis Johnson. Who else have we got in? Kieran is in, Bernadette Farrell, Paul Turner. Stanley Liverpool. God, so many people coming in now. The Real Ginger. Joshua Pereira. Transfer 9. Oh, there's too many people. Sorry, the chat's moving too quickly. It's just gone nuts today, and I know why. So, look, I'm sorry I can't say my usual apologies to people at the start of the stream. So many people are coming in. Lots of love to everyone coming in. Hello, how are you? Welcome into everybody. I think we're going to have to start knocking this saying hello to everybody thing on the head. It's getting a little bit too busy, but you know what? That's not a bad thing. I'm happy that that's the case. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, I see a lot of things coming through. There is one thing that people want to start off tonight's show by talking about, and that is the news, and I'm sure you've seen it if you're on social media. You can see the thumbnail of the stream. So, after Manchester City winning the Premier League, and we congratulated them on that, and Liverpool congratulated them on that, and many Liverpool fans congratulated Manchester City on that, and it was a tremendous achievement by Pep Guardiola and his squad of players. The gloss has been somewhat taken off that, I think it's fair to say, by the actions of the players. A video has emerged on social media, I think it came originally from a Manchester City fan account. I can't be 100% certain of the name of the account, so I'm not going to start guessing. But a video has emerged of the players on the way back to Manchester from Brighton on the Manchester City plane. And they were singing a version of Allez, Allez, Allez. Now, the version of Allez, Allez, Allez that they were singing contained references to a few things. It contained references to Vincent Kompany injuring Mohamed Salah, shall we say, in the game against Manchester City. It contained references to Liverpool fans being battered in the streets. Now, Manchester City fans are trying to say that Liverpool fans being battered in the streets is about Liverpool fans being beaten up in Kiev, in and around the streets of Kiev. Liverpool fans and many other people believe that it is in relation to what happened to Sean Cox, which I can't say for certain either way, so it's not really fair for me to comment on that. It also contains references to Raheem Sterling winning the double, Liverpool winning fuck all, and various other bits and pieces that just show what a classless club they are. I don't know what else to say. This isn't a normal situation when we're on here and we're talking about a couple of gobshy fans saying one thing and a couple of gobshy fans saying another thing, and you can't tar all fans with one brush, and that's fair enough. Every club's fan base has dickheads. I probably include myself in that. I've done things at times and said things I probably shouldn't have done. But here, ladies and gentlemen, we aren't talking about that. We're talking about the players. These players, these professional players who, after winning the Premier League, having a tremendous season on the way to a possible domestic treble, have sang this, and it is a fucking disgrace. There is nothing else to be said about this other than it is a disgrace. Obviously, Liverpool fans on social media and the Echo have picked up on it as well. A couple of other media outlets have picked up on it, but you know what? Not enough for my liking. When Liverpool fans and a couple of them acted like complete gobshites over in Barcelona and pushed people into a fountain, it was all over BBC, it was all over Sky News, it was all over other media outlets, and I have seen very little coverage of this. Manchester City seem to be refusing to even comment or acknowledge the video from what I've seen. Burying their head in the sand like an ostrich is not good enough in this case. I'm sorry. They've got the whole stuff that came out in their Spiegel. They've got their 4 different investigations, I believe, into their finances. This needs to be addressed, and addressed quickly. And let me tell you this, ladies and gents. I got to read out a super chat before it disappears, so I'll come back. Where do you begin with this one? My view personally is, whether it's about Sean Cox or not, singing battered in the streets is not on. I agree with you 100% on that one, Barnes. 100%. So here's my here's my 2 cents on this, Ignorance, much like when it comes to comments about homophobia, Islamophobia, bigotry, xenophobia, and many of the other things that we've seen, racism, stuff that we've seen popping up on social media and from football fans over the year. Football is in a dark place at this moment, ladies and gents. We're fighting to save its reputation. As we said, we've seen incidents of racism rear its ugly head this year, and we don't want it in the sport. We've seen incidents of Islamophobia. We've seen incidents of anti-Semitism as well from particular fan bases. Again, we've seen bananas thrown at footballers. And Manchester City today have showed what a classless bunch of fuckers this entire club are from top to bottom. From top to bottom. I'm absolutely fuming about this. I'm so angry that I almost didn't do this stream today for fear of saying something that would get me removed or get me in too much trouble. The Premier League champions, ladies and gentlemen, the Premier League champions are singing about Liverpool fans being battered in the streets. They're singing about one of their players injuring another Liverpool player, and many other things. It is not on. It's not acceptable. Football needs to fight to save its reputation, and these gobshites, these fools, these so-called professionals, some of whom, and I'm not going to mention names here, have been held up as shining examples of how to do the right thing and been lauded in the media. I mentioned one of these particular players is a fucking hypocrite, and I'm not going to say who it is on this stream because, again, I don't want to take away the attention from the good work that's been done. But these people need to be held accountable. Manchester City cannot just bury their damn heads in the sand and pretend that this didn't happen. And to think people didn't want us to win the league because we'd be unbearable? We'd be unbearable? Our players lauded Manchester City and congratulated them one after the other. Van Dijk, Robertson, our manager Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool fans. Where do you go with this, ladies and gentlemen? Where do you go? I am sickened at this behaviour. I don't want... Manchester City fans can comment on this stream, and I'm sure they will in their droves, calling me a bald nonce, telling me I'm exaggerating it, telling me everything is misinterpreted. They can all kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. There is a couple of decent Manchester City fans like our friend Lofat that we talk to on a regular basis, and I've nothing but respect for him. This is sickening. It's absolutely sickening, and it drives me demented, and I'm sure you guys feel the same. I'm going to stop talking now because it's not about me. This is your show, as I said, so I want to see how you're all feeling. Low rent motherfucker, said Brian Morrissey. Hey Craig, my old matey in the Mighty Red Star, said how are you buddy, welcome in. There's a dent in their trophy, said Rafa the Gaffer. What else have we got on this one? City will never get to the Champions League final. No, they won't win that competition ever. That's my honest opinion on that. It's got nothing to do with me being angry about this. I've said that numerous times throughout the season. I just don't think... Even here we go. Boye, who's a Leicester City fan, said disgraceful. And this is coming from a non-Liverpool fan. It is absolutely sick. Prick said Leitrim for Sam. Hey Craig, how are you getting on? I'm good, thank you, Sean May. How are you? MUFC Gamer said I want to know this story. Well, I hope I've explained it to you a little bit, mate. And look, there are probably references in that song that I don't know and that I don't understand because I don't claim to be a font of knowledge. I'm taking this information from what I've heard, from what I've seen some media outlets reporting on, and it's not what I wanted to be talking about tonight. I genuinely wanted to be on here looking forward to the Champions League final. I wanted to be talking about some transfer news that I have. I wanted to see how everybody's feeling and, chatting with Liverpool fans like I do every night. Money can't buy you class, said Marcus Fletcher. Bang on Barnes said, who was that one? Excuse me. Bang on Barnes said, dauntless always. Barnes again said, completely agree, mate. Had respect for the players too, but how well they've played, that's all gone to the wind after that. Exactly. I said there's going to be a time where we have to talk about Manchester City's finances, and there's going to be a time that we have to talk about the reckless way that they've ran their club with regards to the rules and with regards to the way that I believe they spat in the face of every other Premier League club and other clubs in Europe, and we've seen the emails from the Spiegel that have been linked, and Manchester City again refused to even address those issues. They hid behind the fact that they said that they were illegally taken. If that's the case, then that will be dealt with as well. But to bury your head in the sand on this one and not come out and condemn that chant or that song on that flight by their players is nothing short of sickening. From that tin pot, oil pumped up Wigan Athletic, which is basically what they are. And you know what, even saying that, I feel bad to be disrespectful to Wigan Athletic because I don't mean to be. But Manchester City aren't the shining beacon of hope that they like to believe they are. They aren't the new breed of football. They are classless. They are flaunting the rules, and they're going to be found out. As I said, there's 4 separate investigations into them. I'll leave it to you guys to give your opinions now, because I just keep circling back around to the same thing. Connor originally said maybe he'll pull a few clips from this. I don't know if there's going to be anything to be able to pull from, because I'm probably saying stuff that I shouldn't be saying right now. I'm probably going to places that I don't want to go to, because I want to be on here spreading love, spreading positivity, talking about the Champions League final, lauding our own players for a marvellous season this season. What else we got? The videos in the Liverpool Echoes and Bernadette Farrell. Thank you for that. If anybody wants to go and check that one out, please do. Barnes has another comment here. Bear with me, mate. I just want to get to your comment. City aren't even our rivals. You wouldn't hear United or Everton players chanting that this is who everybody wanted to win the league. Barnes, mate, you're nailing it. Comment after comment, and thank you, mate, for the super chats as well. You're absolutely nailing it. We see as Manchester United are our rivals. They are absolutely our rivals. But there's always been a begrudging respect between the two sets of fan bases. We look at Manchester United, and Ferguson came, he did what he'd done, he wrestled the titles back away from Liverpool, and he had that period of success at Manchester United. And even going back further, Manchester United won European Cups, and there's always been a begrudging respect and a banter between the two sets of fan bases. And yes, there have been occasions where Liverpool fans have gone over the line. They've talked about Munich. And there's been occasions where some so-called Manchester United fans have spoken about Hillsborough as well. But those are few and far between. But that wasn't from the players. It's one thing when we speak about fans acting like gobshites, but we are talking about professional fucking athletes, the Premier League champions, the back-to-back Premier League champions, the possible treble winners, the ones that media outlets have been lauding all season, and rightly so for their football, because Pep Guardiola and his team played tremendously well throughout the season, and whoever wins the Premier League title deserves to win it. This is sick. This is pathetic, and this is not something you would expect from a professional football club, let alone a professional football club that's trying to establish itself as a superpower in the game. You're never going to be a super player. You're always going to be a low-rent, 2-bit football club. United fans condemned City. You know it's bad when they're defending you. Well, do you know what? As I just mentioned, Rafa the Gaffer, mate, as you've rightly said, banter is one thing, and I love it. Myself and Mark have a back and forth in time as well, and some other United fans that I chat to, we go back and forth, and it's fun. Sometimes, hey, they get the better of you. Sometimes you get the better of them. But it's all in good spirit. It's all in good jest. When it comes time to the players and it comes time to the games, the battle lines are drawn and may the best team win. Manchester City were the best team this season in the Premier League, and they won the league, and congratulations to them for that. But this has been very, very much tainted. Gareth said, "Hi Craig, how are you, mate? I bet 70% of the fans were not City fans 10 years ago, just plastic fans." We've always spoken about Manchester City fans and how Manchester City have had a loyal group of fans when they dropped back to the divisions. Nobody can take that away from them. When they were relegated down to League One and that, they were selling out Main Road. They were getting 30, 40,000 people, whatever it was, into that stadium. And there is a good core of Manchester City fans. There is a good, decent core of Manchester City fans. This isn't about Manchester City fans. This is about the club, its players, and its ownership at this point. We're not talking about the fans. I'm not here to belittle Manchester City fans, because today is about their fucking players. It's the players that stepped over the line today, not the fans. Football banter can only go so far, said Heme. I'm mainly baffled as to why they're singing about us today they win the league title. The honest answer there is that they're fucking obsessed with Liverpool Football Club, because we're everything that they want to be. They can talk about, they've won their titles and stuff, but we are everything that they want to be. They want to be seen as superstars. They want to be seen as a global force. They want to be seen as a new brand of football. Well, they're not. They're, as I said, a 2-bit tin pot club that's been pumped up by oil money, and they're not fucking fooling anybody. They are not fooling anybody. Professional footballers, but this was a disgrace. John Stone started it off. He's also an England international, not acceptable, said Andy Cleverly. Jokes are fine, but that's no joke, said Mark Forrest. Faraldin, how are you, buddy? Welcome. 10 years ago, they were all United fans, said Mohammed. City might be getting a Champions League ban. Yeah, well, look, we'll talk about that as well. Some City fans condemning this too, quite telling. And to those City fans that are condemning it, well done to you, because it's unacceptable. And as I said earlier on, I didn't want this to be about the fans really, because this isn't about Manchester City's fans today. This is about their players, which makes it so fucking disturbing that it's about their players. MUFC Gamer said phenomenal season and they ruin it by chanting. Where Liverpool, said Mr. Bud. Do you blame the owners of the club? Well, I can't blame the owners of the club for the players singing today. I can blame the owners of Manchester City or accuse them of a lot of things. But this was down to the players. And ignorance is not an excuse. The same way it is an excuse if you say something homophobic or you say something to belittle somebody else, and you say you're hiding behind the fact that you didn't know that your comment was going to be disrespectful. That's not a fucking excuse. I'm sorry. Does the actions of these players be brought to the authorities for bringing the game into disrepute? I honestly don't know. I don't know. What's disturbed me the most about all of this is people make mistakes. We've all done it. I've made numerous mistakes. I'm sure each and every one of you guys have made mistakes. And professional footballers make mistakes. We've all done it. But the fact that their club, the high-ups at the club, the people running the club, are burying their head in the sand and refusing to even come out and apologise for this. No apology? That's fucking sickening. Absolutely sickening. Where's the fume? If Manchester City want to be lauded and seen as this fantastic football club and they're not breaking the rules and they're trying to do things the right way, then where's the fucking apology? Where's the apology? And my comments, Sean Craig, yes, they are V8. I can see your comments, buddy. I've watched it over and over and I can't see any first team players singing anything. Well, they have been, mate. They have been. I don't know which one, so it will be absolutely unfair of me to single out any Manchester City player for singing this, but it's been reported widely enough. Let's use the Echo as an example here. There's more on this on the Echo if you want to go on. Even go to James Pearce's account on Twitter. There's some stuff on there with links to articles that the Echo have written on this. And of course they will be much more articulate, much more well informed than I am. And I would certainly suggest everybody to, for the facts, go somewhere like that. Don't take your facts from me. I'm just giving you a fan's perspective on this. Everything I say should to some extent be taken with a pinch of salt. But you cannot argue that song was sang on that Manchester City plane by its players, by its staff, by people employed by Manchester City Football Club. Just as United crumbled when Fergie left, City will crumble when Pep leaves, said Toblum. How does Sky not even mention this? Ella, I've been checking all day. Sky do have an article talking about what might happen with Manchester City with regards to FFP and stuff like that. But from what I can see, nothing. Absolutely nothing on this. Which is just, it's not good enough from Sky. Let's be honest. It's just not good enough. Lots of people as well say no apology. Any apology? No. Not that I'm aware of. Before I came on stream, no apology had been issued by Manchester City Football Club. What did they sing? Asked John. Right, just for people that are joining us a little bit late, because I do understand that notifications sometimes are delayed and people are coming in late to the show. Firstly, thank you to everyone that's here. I'm not sure how many people we have in the chat tonight, but welcome to everyone that's here. So what has happened is a video has emerged of Manchester City's plane, obviously coming back from Birmingham after winning the Premier League title. The players are on there celebrating, and rightly so, celebrating the Premier League win, as you expect them to, and as they are absolutely entitled to do. But then a song came out, a version of Alay Alay Alay. It's a version that we've heard sang before by fans. In this version of Alay Alay Alay, it refers to Vincent Kompany injuring Mohamed Salah in the game. Do you remember the 2-footed tackle? I think it was around the 30th minute this season, where he should have been sent off for it, but he wasn't. They mentioned that. They mentioned Liverpool fans being battered in the streets. Now that is open to interpretation. To be absolutely bluntly fair about this, and I do want to try and be fair, I cannot say for certain that the battered in the streets thing refers to Sean Cox. I cannot say that with absolute certainty. Some people believe it's in regards to Liverpool fans being battered in Kiev by, there were people beaten up there. You remember seeing those videos? It also refers to Raheem Sterling winning the double, the Scousers winning fuck all. It refers to, I think, again, excuse me if I'm wrong here, I'm sure there's something about always being the victims, or never being in the wrong, or never offend, or always the victim, never offended. Something along those lines as well. That's what this is about. The players and the staff singing that song with all of those lyrics in it that does nothing but belittle Liverpool Football Club and its fans and the city. It's just classless. It's classless, and it's not behaviour becoming of Premier League champions or any professional footballers, to be fair. Alex Rodriguez believes Laporte was singing it. You can see it. How do I find this video? Oh, Christian, just go onto the Echo website, as I said, mate. Just Google it at this point. I'm sure you'll see it. Manchester City plane video, or Manchester City LA song on plane. Something along those lines, and you'll find it. The Echo is a Liverpool tabloid. Oh, sorry, people don't know what the Echo is. Sorry. What else have we got? It's definitely not fake news. Anyone even trying to say this is fake news can kiss my ass. It is nothing like fake news. This is 100% correct. Haynes said Sean Cox or Kiev both are disgusting. Absolutely, sir. 100%. Man City Alfie said I'm 100% sure it's about Kiev, but the injury of Salah shows a lack of class from the players. And Alfie, I know you, mate. You've been in a few times as well. And as I said, mate, I'm being perfectly honest. I couldn't say whether it was about Kiev or whether it was about Sean Cox. But either way, it's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. And I'm not having a go at you, buddy. I know you're coming in here to show some class, mate. And you are. And thank you for that. Dominus Earth as well said, I'm very sorry, Craig. I'm ashamed of our team today. Cheer up, mate. You'll win the Champions League. You're a class act, sir. Thank you. And hopefully we will win the Champions League, buddy. What else we got? Barnes said they keep saying it's not about Sean Cox, completely missing the point. Exactly. And I'm not having to go at Man City Alfie here. He's just trying to clear something up from a Manchester City fan's perspective, and I understand that, mate. But as Barnes said, they keep saying it's not about Sean Cox, completely missing the point. The players shouldn't be chanting how they injured a player of our fans were battered in the streets. Exactly, sir. Exactly. Don't tell me. Was there really always the victim chant? I can't give you the exact wording of it. It was something. Maybe somebody can. If anybody can do me a massive favour and maybe just one of our mods perhaps just copy and paste something from the Echo and put it into the chat here, or a few lines what it was about the victims or never the fault or that part of it, because I'm not 100% certain on that part of it. One of the fans nearly lost their life after Germany, Craig, said John Bale. Yes, that was absolutely disgusting. And if you remember, John and other people, when the Manchester City fan was attacked in Germany, I spoke about it openly on here, and all of us wished the gentleman a speedy recovery, and I'm so happy that he's made that recovery. And to see, and I've often said as well, as you can look back and you remember, sometimes as football fans we need to stop this us and them mentality, and we need to look out for each other. And it was sickening to see what happened to that Manchester City fan. Absolutely disgusting, just as it was sickening to see what happened to the Manchester United fan with the taxi driver. Yeah, you don't wish that on anybody, and I'm so glad that both are making full recoveries, and I wish them well in their recoveries. Iranian Pride said, guys, don't even listen to the song. I just did. It's a crap song, disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. A club with so much money and no ground, yet they have to fight for the championship. Brian Morrissey said, everybody knows what victims mean. Exactly, mate. It refers to one thing and one thing only, and anybody who even tries to fake that it doesn't. Victims of it all. Thank you, Logan, and thank you everybody else that's putting that in. Victims of it all. Thank you, sir. Well done. And that's what they're talking about. And victims means, they know what victims mean. They know, and we all know what it means. You don't need me to talk about it. You don't need me to explain it to you. Anybody that labels the word victims towards Liverpool Football Club, we know what it's about. Steve said, as a Manchester United supporter, I have no time for City. Liverpool, like us, have more history, class and support they will ever have, funded by oil money. You cannot buy class. And this is what I was talking about earlier on. Manchester United and Liverpool have that. It's a hatred, basically. Let's be fair about it, but a begrudging respect, because the clubs are run the right way. And I know for a fact that both clubs have helped each other out behind the scenes, and whether it be after Hillsborough or whether it be after the Munich air disaster, I know both clubs have pulled together, and they're a class. What can I say? They're classy clubs. Both clubs. You would never see this for Manchester United players, never, because it wouldn't be allowed. And if it did happen for some bizarre reason, then I guarantee you Manchester United would be as apologetic as they could possibly be, and there would be a donation towards the Sean Cox Foundation or the Hillsborough Trust or something. There would be something, money would be given to charity, and a severe apology issued. But I would be amazed. It would never happen, because Manchester United aren't that type of club. I'm sick of the FA. It needs to take action, said Old School. I don't hate United as much as I now hate Manchester City, said the Irish Beard. And I hate being on here talking about hate and talking about fuming, because it isn't really what I like to do. I like to spread positivity, and I like to have fun, and I like to come on here and talk about the good things in life. Joanne said the FA hasn't got any fucking teeth, just a load of money in their pockets without morals. It's the Premier League as well. I mean, let's not forget the Premier League are the ones that look after this league. The FA are responsible for obviously the English national side. They're responsible for the FA Cup and things like that. But the Premier League have to have teeth here as well. Rafa the Gaffer said Craig, City's PR team has denied it. How the fuck could you deny something that's there in plain sight? Yeah, I mean, if they denied it, that's just ignorance. Craig, all true supporters would condemn this song from the City players 100%, Stephen. Jordan Wright said, but it's alright for Liverpool fans to mock the Munich air disaster. No, mate, it isn't. When did any of us ever say it was alright for Liverpool fans to mock the Munich air disaster? Any Liverpool fan that mocks the Munich air disaster is a prick. It's plain and simple. A scumbag. A scumbag that deserves to be ejected from a ground, banned, and I have no time for them, and nor would any other Liverpool fan. But Jordan, mate, don't dare fucking come in here now and try and get on the moral high horse, because it's not going to happen, pal. I can guarantee you that. And this has got nothing to do with fans, by the way, mate. This is to do with players. This is to do with fucking players, mate. This isn't Liverpool fans talking about Munich. This isn't United fans mocking Hillsborough. And to even drag our fans into this, you horrible little shit, is just disgusting. This is about players. Players. Millionaires. People who have been media trained to within an inch of their damn lives coming on and belittling our city. I say our city, obviously I'm a dub, but belittling the city of the club that I love. Belittling Mohamed Salah's injury, belittling our fans being beaten in the streets, and you're trying to come on and say it's okay for Liverpool fans to mock the Munich air disaster. Mate, you're part of the fucking problem in a massive way. You need to get your head out of your arse and own up to shit and start taking some responsibility, because it's people like you that are making this fucking sport a mockery, and you need to remove your head from your damn ass and take some responsibility. I don't know what age you are, pal. You could be 10, 12, 30, 50, 60 for all I know. But what I do know is, mate, you need to check yourself, because that's fucking awful. What's the FA do? Nothing about them, said somebody else. Hi Craig, I'm a bit late, but I agree. Singing Munich songs makes them scum and they aren't fans of football. 100%. What I'm saying is don't act holier than thou. Fuck you, Jordan. That's what I'm saying, mate. Fuck you. You horrible little cretin. Act holier than thou. This is fucking professional athletes, you absolute clown. Nobody's talking about fans. You can make exceptions for fans. We can talk about a couple of fans being dickheads in every fan base. What you're doing is trying to come in and defend the fucking undefendable, you absolute cretin. Get the fuck out of my chat room. Let me just remove this gobshite. Fucking prick. Where are you from in Dublin? Hope it doesn't come across as weird. It's not, mate. You're more than welcome to ask. I'm originally from Shankill, which is in South Dublin. Now I live down in Wexford and Gorey. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologise. I apologise if I come across harsh here, but that comment from Jordan was just a piss take. Trying to defend the indefendable, mate. Come on. Or undefendable. Again, sorry. Getting my words mixed up. Is there any more comments we want to get through this? Because I don't want to spend the entire show talking about this, because we've got some nice stuff to talk about. We've got some fun stuff to talk about as well. The reason why we're all here to celebrate our own football club. Roberto's in, buddy. How are you? Welcome. Sam X said I'm from Cork. Do you know what? We all agree now to park this up for the rest of the stream, and we'll go about and have some fun. Do you know, we'll enjoy our own football club, and we'll have banter and fun as we always do. We parked that up. I think we've dedicated almost 30 minutes of the show to that, and let's leave it there and let's move on, if that's okay with everybody, and let me know your thoughts, or see a few Griezmann comments, for instance. More than happy to talk about that. And in news related to Liverpool Football Club in a positive way, well, maybe you don't see this as positive, but hey. So UEFA have confirmed that Slovenian Damir Skomina will be the referee for next month's Champions League final in Madrid. It does feel weird saying next month, isn't it? I know it's the 1st of June, so technically it's true. He's refereed the Reds on 5 times during his career. 4 of those have been defeats. But you know what? I wouldn't pay any attention to that because it has no relevance to the final. I'm not somebody that buys into, oh, he's refereed us 5 times and we've lost 4 of them. It is what it is when it comes to that. But that gentleman will be in charge of the final against Spurs. I'm looking forward to it. It should be an agenda-fueled. Every club is a bottler, a disgrace, but I'm good to leave it there, said Barnes. Mate, you're a class act. Thank you. And I have a few more things to talk about as well. But I want to just get people's thoughts on the referee, if that's okay. What the... Hey guys, sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. Yes, sorry, I'm back. Apologies, I'm not sure what happened there. It went offline for a second. I'm back now. Just give me a confirmation we're back, yes? Good. Sorry, I don't know what happened. That went completely off, and it did go off this time. Usually I say, oh, it mustn't be mine, but we're back, and I do apologise. So, yes, the referee. Did we get the referee? Did we get the part where I spoke about the referee? Can we give me a thumbs up on that one? If I didn't, happy to go through it again. Yes, we did the referee. Are we okay? No? Did you miss me talking about the referee? I'll confirm the referee again, sorry. So UEFA confirms Slovenian Damir Skomina will be the referee for next month's Champions League final in Madrid. He's refereed the Reds on 5 occasions when we've lost 4 of them. But as I said, I wouldn't worry about that. I wouldn't worry about the fact that we've lost them. We're playing Spurs, a very good team, an excellent manager, a team that deserve their place in the Champions League final. And in this build-up, you will get nothing but respect from me towards Spurs, because I like them. I think they're a decent club. I like the fact that what they've done. I like that they're building to do things the right way. I like that they have a chairman who's looking out for them. And as I said, you'll get nothing but positivity from me towards Spurs during this build-up. Obviously, I want to win. Jesus Christ, I want to win. Of course. Typical Irish Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is class, Fionn. I've no idea what happened there. We've got really good Wi-Fi. Usually runs at about 80, 85. The last game you refereed, we won against Napoli, said Mark. So there we go. There is that. Barca will move for Pochettino now, says Morton. Interesting. Sorry, I'm just trying to click through a few settings here as we talk. Spurs haven't won with this ref as well. That's good. I'll take that, Andrew. I didn't know that one, buddy. That's good news. I'm looking for any omens that can give us positivity. So if Spurs haven't won with this referee, then hey, I'll take that as well. I honestly, I wouldn't pay too much heed to it though, to be fair, because it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. Somebody's shouting on about a bus here. Are we getting this? Comments really? Where is somebody talking about a bus? We're still talking about Liverpool fans throwing a can of beer, or a can of cider actually technically, isn't it, at a bus, and we're trying to compare this. Okay, if that's where we want to go with this, I'm happy to go backwards and talk about it, but fuck off. Liverpool fans threw a bottle or a can or a bottle of beer at the bus, and that's unacceptable. We got that. We've been there. We've gone through all of that. You've shit on about it for the past fucking year and used it as an excuse as to why the Manchester City were knocked out. They were knocked out because you weren't good enough, and we beat you 5-1 over 2 legs. But keep talking about that kind of Copperberg. Well done. Boom, boom, boom. You see, I paid the ref for Liverpool win, said James. Daryl, waffle, may care to elaborate on that? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, trolls can go fuck themselves, domestic butler, 100%. 100%. Right, look, ladies and gents, as I said, I've got some more news to talk about as well. We've got some transfer gossip. But I want to start off. You've previously heard me talk on the show that I'm a huge fan of Paul Tompkins of the Tompkins Times. I consider him to be one of, if not the best writer of all things Liverpool Football Club. I hope you guys know who Paul Tompkins is. If you don't, I would definitely urge you to follow him on Twitter. I would certainly say go and look at the Tompkins Times. Maybe have a subscription on there. But I want to read a little thing to you that he wrote in one of his recent articles, because I think it's magnificent. So as I said, I was reading one of his articles earlier on and I wanted to share this segment with you. So Paul said, 7 days ago, but what now feels like a lifetime, I tweeted that whatever happened this season, it had been a success. At the time, I thought the Reds were going out of the Champions League and it looked as if City were going to win the league. In response to this, I saw the familiar. No one remembers who came second in the league and who reached the Champions League semi-finals or who lost the Champions League final. Nobody remembers runners-up. Bullshit. This is such a reductionist argument. This is an argument for those who only experience the joy of football through the honours of a club's list on a Wikipedia page. Those who just want to trade "we've won more than you" barbs on social media, rather than think about what do you remember. We remember things that capture the imagination and stir the heart. Trophies or not, you get dull trophy winners and you get fantastic runners up. It was a beautiful piece of writing, as always, from Paul. And it kind of alludes to what I said to you guys a couple of times. Sometimes winning's lovely and we all want to win, but you can't forget the moments, the journey, the times that got us here, because no matter what happens in the final against Spurs, if we win it, brilliant. But you can't tell me that even if we lose it, that game against Barcelona at Anfield won't stick in your memory forever. That 4-0 defeat of Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez, Felipe Coutinho and the rest of that Barcelona team when we needed to beat them by 4-0 to qualify. That's going to stick in your mind forever. You can't tell me that even though we lost in Kiev, you didn't enjoy beating Manchester City 5-1 over 2 legs. You didn't enjoy the scenes in Roma when Liverpool qualified for the final. You can't tell me that in the Europa League when we didn't win the final against Sevilla that you didn't enjoy beating Manchester United, that you didn't enjoy that amazing comeback where Dejan Lovren scored the goal against Borussia Dortmund. And that's what Paul's talking about here. And Paul Tompkins, I had the pleasure of interviewing Paul Tompkins for a podcast before, and he was kind enough to give up 2.5 or 3 hours of his time, and for that I will be eternally grateful to Paul Tompkins. And I still to this day hold that right up there with one of the greatest things that I've had the pleasure of doing in my life. Paul Tompkins is a super writer, and I said he's a font of knowledge on all things Liverpool Football Club related, and I really do recommend that you have a look at the Tompkins Times. It is a subscription based service, but they're good enough to put out some free articles as well. Definitely recommend that you check them out. So yeah, as I said, I just wanted to read that little segment out to you because I thought it encapsulated exactly what I've always tried to say. But obviously Paul is a much more articulate fella than I am and was able to express his feelings much better than I ever could mine. Is the Paul Tompkins from Leicester? I couldn't tell you where the man's from, mate. And he's so far, by the way, he's also written 7 books and he's got an 8th and 9th Liverpool book on the way. So I mean, I cannot urge you enough to if you're a fan of good writing and you like reading stuff about Liverpool, Paul Tompkins, the Tompkins Times, Andrew Beasley is another person I'd highly recommend. Can't tell me you didn't enjoy Divock's header, said Tom. No, you know I did, pal. Origi against Everton. Yeah, exactly. Numerous times this season as well in the league. We're talking about the Champions League, of course, but yeah, there's been numerous moments in the Premier League this season that we'll never forget. Jordan Pickford being a gobshite is one that I'll never forget, and Divock Origi scoring, of course. The late winner against Spurs as well, that was one that will stick in our mind. There's been some absolutely fantastic goals. Daniel Sturridge's against Chelsea, somebody mentioned last night. And it's part of the journey. The final's great, lifting the trophy's great, but it's the journey as well that creates memories and that is special. And I think Paul nailed it. I just think he always does nail it. I'll be distraught if we don't beat Spurs, said O-Dog. What the Irish Beard say? Football's about supporting your team, win, lose or draw. For 90 minutes you're taken away from the reality of life to support your beloved football team. It's more than winning trophies, it's life. As somebody else said, beautiful from the Irish Beard there, mate. I absolutely agree. Pay As You Play is a great book, said Joe Barnes. Number 6 would be fantastic, said Harry Daw. Winning against Manchester United 3-1, that's a good memory, said Best Buddies. Suarez crying was brilliant, said Mark Forrest. Every great moment is why we love this club, because there's so many. As I said, I was lucky enough to be in Liverpool on Sunday. I wasn't at the game, I wasn't that lucky. But when that final whistle blew, in the venue I was in and on the streets of the city afterwards when I was walking around, and even the day after from what I believe, there was no feeling, there was feelings of hurt obviously, sorry, but the overwhelming thing was pride. Liverpool fans clapped the players off. They stayed behind for a very long time at Anfield to let the guys know how proud they are this season that they put in. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, and there's something special about this football club of ours that it just draws you in. It just captures you. It's just different. We're just different. Hello, Alfie. How are you, mate? I love Liverpool no matter what, said Dan York. Craig, I hope Butterfingers Lloris is up to his old tricks in Madrid. So do I, Stephen, if the truth be told. I mean, I never wish bad luck on a player, of course, but anything that will get us number 6 would be very well appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. If you're with us for the first time, please do hit that subscribe button, or if you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that button. In our first season, we've gone past 15,000 subscribers, and I'm blown away by the support you've given the channel, so thank you so much for that. Subscribing to the channel, you get all our content for free. Everything we do on here is free, and it's always going to be free. We do watch alongs of all the Reds games. You're going to get transfer videos, podcasts, video podcasts, a few other tidbits as well, nightly streams like we're doing tonight, all 100% free, and my promise to you guys has always been that it will always be free. I think we need number 6, Craig. We deserve it, said Mark Hendley. Yeah, it's hard to talk about deserving something, but the players, yeah, it would be a crying shame, mate, if they didn't take something out of this season. You're right. Have I ever thought of making a diss track on Manchester City? They're not fucking relevant enough to me, mate, to make a diss track on them. I'm not going to lie, I've thought about making a diss track, alright. It's not about Manchester City, but yeah, I have. I'm not. If I'd say I didn't think of making a diss track, I'd be lying. But not about Manchester City, because they're not fucking relevant to me. And I'm never going to acknowledge them as being what they want to be in their own heads. If we had this team last year, we would have won the Champions League, said Max. Our fans are the best in the world. I love our community, said Mark Forrest. Our fans deserve silverware more than any other fan, said O-Dog. The Irish Beard said, my best memory was Owen scoring against Arsenal to win the FA Cup. Yeah, we didn't deserve to win that game either, man. That was a really funny thing. Arsenal were, at that stage, man, they were some team. They really were. And to beat them 2-1 on the day with those 2 later goals was brilliant. Lloris has been awful for his standards, said Lee. Yeah, Hugo Lloris is one of those goalkeepers that he can be sensational. I mean, he can be top notch, but he does have a mistake in him, and I hope that we test him early on in the final, and I'm sure we're going to be putting the corners right in on top of him as well. Klopp said him and Liverpool are a great fit. He loves the fans, and of course there's a rumour that Jurgen Klopp might be looking at signing a new 5-year contract. Firmino putting the Arsenal defence on the deck. Oh, that was brilliant, Billy. That was absolutely brilliant. A diss track on DT. Oh, do you know what, mate? I'd have so much fucking material that it would probably be the longest diss track in the history of the world. You're probably talking about fucking an hour's worth of content there. All auto-tuned, of course, because I can't sing for fuck. For those who are just joining the chat, it's about Manchester City players singing sick and vile songs about us, said Cobra 1977. Andrew said, Craig, we're going to Madrid. Mate, we defo are. Oh, cannot wait. They've no fans to react to a diss track, said the Irish Beard. Do you know what else popped up today on social media? So, there was an account that showed an image from the Munich air disaster. A very sad and poignant image showing the wreckage of the plane and people standing there with hoses and going through the wreckage of the plane. And it was a very, very sad and somber image. And some little prick posted to say that this needs to happen to Manchester City someday. And he did it from an account that was posing to be a Liverpool fan account. Now, somebody did some investigative work and looked back through his tweets, and fair play to the person for doing this. And I don't know, I was showed it by one particular person, but I don't know if they're the one that did the investigative work on this. But it was found out and exposed without any shadow of a doubt that this was a Manchester City fan who had changed his account to pose to be a Liverpool fan to try and make us look bad on a day where their club let themselves down. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable behaviour. And I'm so glad that this prick was found out. And congratulations to whoever it was that went through and looked through and found out that this lad was an absolute fraud. Van Dijk will walk all over Spurs, said Ted Hutton. Farrell said, I saw that image, disgusting, horrific, the snow falling. It was so sad. It was a very poignant image, as I said, and it was one that, yeah, you couldn't help but feel sadness and sympathy when you've seen that image. And to take that image and to allude to wanting another team to feel that pain, and then to disguise you being a Liverpool fan when you're actually a Manchester City fan, that is beyond sick. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to scroll through a few more comments. Daryl said, that's despicable and every decent Liverpool fan will condone anything like this regardless. 100% Daryl. City fans letting their club down as well as their players. Luckily most are not condoning it. Or excuse me, luckily most are condoning it. Sorry mate. Yes, you're right. Any decent football fan, regardless of the club, would say that that's disgusting behaviour. But to go that step further and try and pin it on another set of fans, that's disgusting. MUFC Gamer said, anyone who sings about Munich or Hillsborough is not a football fan, should be in prison. It's disgusting, mate. I fully agree. It's disgusting. When did human life and suffering become fair play or fair game? It shouldn't be. What happened in Munich, what happened in Bradford, what happened at Hillsborough, it should never be forgotten, and it should never be mocked, and it should never be belittled. We're talking about people who lost loved ones here, brothers, sisters, husbands, fathers, wives, daughters, sons who will never go home to their families. What type of scumbag belittles? I can't get my head around it. I struggle to deal with trolling at the best of time and why people are in that mindset, but for that, to go that far, you want to be some special breed of prick to have that much hate in your life that you pull out these type of things. Wonders the FA gonna have the balls to do something about it, said Cobra. Far Isle said, if anybody knows anything about the crash, they'll know that it was their third attempt to take off in sleet and snow with a plane that had low powered engines. It should not be made fun of. Of course, it's absolutely out of bounds and it's absolutely despicable. Transfer news to move along and to try and get it back onto a more positive tone. Let's talk transfers, ladies and gents. So I'm sure that you've all seen in the last couple of hours that Antoine Griezmann has announced that he's going to leave Atletico Madrid. A lot of people believe he's going to go to Barcelona, and how much of a prick does he look like, having made those videos last year and said that he's staying at the club only to then next season say, do you know what, now I'm off. Wherever he ends up, I hope to God it's not at Liverpool, because I don't want him anywhere near this football club. He is not the type of player I want wearing the liver bird on his chest. I don't know, where do you think he'll end up? Is he nailed on to Barcelona? Is that what we're all feeling? Robbie, how are you, mate? Welcome in. It's gone to penalties in West Brom and Villa. Thank you, mate. Please do keep us up to date with what's going on there. I knew it had gone to extra time, but I appreciate you letting me know. I've a lot of rumours saying this summer it's going to be a big window. Oh, look, with what's going to be happening at Real Madrid, with what's going to be happening at Manchester United, with what's going to be happening at maybe Liverpool, Manchester City perhaps, or other clubs, I fully believe this is going to be a really big transfer window. A lot of big players on the move as well, I think, during this transfer window. Louis reckons Barcelona. Lots of people saying Barca for sure. How disrespectful then is that to his own fan base again? You made two videos. For those that don't know, by the way, last year Antoine Griezmann made two videos. One saying that he was going to Barcelona and one saying that he was staying with Atleti. And these were given to a television station, I believe. And they were only told right at the last minute which one of those to air. And that Antoine Griezmann had made his decision. I mean, I don't know. For me, that is all kinds of wrong. To a club that have treated him so well. If Griezmann doesn't go to Barcelona, they're thought to be in for Lacazette, said Fionn. An excellent footballer, Lacazette. Himself and Aubameyang have certainly forged a fantastic partnership for Arsenal up front. Do you think we'll have a big window, Craig? Not as big as last summer, mate, or last year, I should say. I suppose I don't see us losing anybody that we don't want to move on, or anyone the Klopp isn't happy to move on. I don't see any of our front three going anywhere. I think we need to sign a forward. And on that, RB Leipzig CEO Oliver, is it Mintzlaff? Excuse me if I mispronounced that. Has said that striker Timo Werner could join Liverpool this summer. Maybe he doesn't want to go to Munich. Maybe he would rather join Tuchel in Paris, Klopp at Liverpool, or Favre at Dortmund. He's quoted as saying so. I don't know what's going to happen with Timo Werner. I would absolutely love him at Liverpool. I've said that numerous times. I know he's been strongly linked to Bayern Munich as well. I know some people in Germany believe that could even be a done deal, but RB Leipzig CEO said that they've had nothing from Bayern Munich with regards to this transfer. So I suppose we're just going to have to wait and see on that one. I'd love Timo Werner. How about you guys? Any players you'd like to see at Liverpool this summer? Please do let me know in the chat. Do you think we'll sign De Ligt? Asks Eden Wolf. No, I don't. I want to. Oh my god, yes, I want to. I just don't know if Klopp will feel that we need to delve that deep again for another centre back. I would love him. Any club that gets him is going to get one hell of a player. But I don't know. I just don't know. Barnes said a lot of debate about Coutinho returning. Thoughts? 100% not going to happen. 100% not going to happen. Again, I'm coming back to Paul Tompkins, but in his article, this free article that he retweeted today, so it's on his account if anyone wants to look, he speaks a little about Coutinho and that Coutinho had a good start to his Barcelona career because he had Klopp fitness. Then after this pre-season and he came back for his full season, he doesn't have that same level of fitness that Klopp demands and puts into his players. And you can see the difference in him. So, for me, I'd be less than 1 in 100 chance that Felipe Coutinho will return to Liverpool. I'd be amazed, particularly because of the way he left. Louis said I'd love Werner. Ella said Werner. Ariel said Coutinho return. Again, mate, no. I'll be... Again, look, don't take anything I say as gospel. I've no inside knowledge on Liverpool Football Club. Just going from what I'm reading, no. I can't see that one coming in. Luka Jovic, I think, hasn't he agreed or a deal is in place for him to join Real Madrid from what I believe, around 53 million Samex. Now, again, I don't know if that's been announced as an absolutely done deal, but everything I've read seems to suggest that he'd be off to Real Madrid. Would I take Coutinho back on loan? No. I don't see the point in bringing a footballer in on loan, really, if I'm being honest. When you're at our level, you either buy him or you don't. If sometimes it's used to move players on who perhaps you want to clear the wages off the books and nobody's willing to take a gamble on. But for me, I wouldn't see Coutinho back at Liverpool. Mark said I would love Timo Werner as well. Shitty in for De Ligt as well now, said Morton. I don't know, are they? I've no idea. I'd be amazed if every top club in Europe isn't sniffing around De Ligt. I mean, why wouldn't they be? He's an absolute superstar in the making. Isn't it? Actually, he's a superstar pretty much already. Brian Morrissey said Coutinho's never coming back. Said Harry Maguire. I read somewhere that there's 4 Premier League clubs in a bit of a tug of war over trying to sign Harry Maguire. Obviously, I'd expect Manchester United to maybe be one of them, but then somebody said to me earlier on today that Mark Goldbridge in his video spoke about the fact United have gone in strong for Koulibaly. So that might be interesting there as well. King K said Nicolas Pepe, Luka Jovic and a left back for backup. Fionn Tierney said that was Tomo saying he'd love him back. Yeah, it was. He said he'd take him back in a heartbeat. I remember that was definitely true. Craig, where will I be watching the Champions League final? Will you do a watch along? Yes, I'll be watching it here because I can't afford to go out to Madrid. Sorry, that comes across like me saying I've like trying to play a pirate ship. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. Sorry. Family holidays booked. My finances are there, so I can't afford an expensive trip to Madrid, which will cost probably fucking $3,000 or something ridiculous like that. So as much as I'd love to be there, I ain't going to be in Madrid. I even looked at going to Liverpool, and that's gone ridiculously expensive. So myself, Connor, and Brian Morrissey will be hosting a watch along of the Champions League final here at my house. And I hope you can all join us. It's gonna be a whole day. We're gonna have a big build-up show beforehand. We're gonna stream the game, and of course we'll have a post-match show as well. Expect nudity. Expect more man boobs if we win. Expect anything. But 100% we will be doing a watch along of that game, and I hope you can all join us for that. Ian Turlington said Griezmann's on 350k a week and will want 400 grand if he moves. He wouldn't take him with those wages. I think he's completely overrated, to be honest. I'm not saying he's not a good footballer. I just think he's overrated. Barnes said I'd take a punt on Maddison from Leicester City. I think we should have taken a punt on him last summer. We were strongly linked with him. As I said, he picked up an injury last summer for Norwich. It might have been his ankle, if memory serves me correct. And Leicester pulled the trigger, and they've got themselves one hell of a good player. But I would take Maddison. I would take him at Liverpool. I just can't see it happening. I can't see Leicester being willing to sell him after one season without maybe a ridiculously high bid coming in. Villa saved 2 penalties, said Lewis. West Brom shocking. Harry Wilson is the next Bale, trust me, said King K. On Harry Wilson, I expect him to go out on loan. I would, at a guess, and of course this is a guess, I think maybe Klopp will bring him back in pre-season, have a look at him, have a chat with him. They'll formulate a plan, they'll sit down and they'll look at what's best for Harry Wilson, what's best for Liverpool Football Club. And I would expect a loan to a Premier League club next season. And you know what? Leicester will be a damn good show for him to go to and work under Brendan Rodgers there and maybe try and progress. Loads of people saying West Brom have missed 2 penalties, Villa have scored. Thank you guys so much for keeping us up to date. Boya said, good luck getting him out of his contract. I mean, I agree with Boya. I don't think they're going to let him go. And why would they? They've got themselves a great player. He's only 1 year into his contract. Leicester's owners are going to back their manager. They're going to want to keep pushing on. I'm with Boya. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, really. 210 Record said, don't worry, Craig. I think you've got lovely boobs. Thank you, mate. They're certainly abundant. Does Bale earn 600 grand a week? I don't know. Shabir, I'd be lying if I told you. I haven't got a clue. I read a couple of things today saying they might even try and move him on loan to Spurs because United don't even want him because of his age and because of his injury record, and that they really want to move him on from Real Madrid, and that Zidane just doesn't fancy him there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Gareth Bale, and I think Gareth Bale has been shoddily treated by Real Madrid, if the truth be told. Who would you like as our number 10? You mean in the position, because, you know, we have a 10. Dybala, Fekir. There's been a lot of talk to say that we're front runners for, I know he's not a 10, he's a winger more or a wide forward. Julian Brandt. A lot of talk about Liverpool being the front runners to sign Julian Brandt. It's between ourselves and Borussia Dortmund by the looks of things. I'd love Julian Brandt, particularly at the price you'd get him at. I hope. He's a player we know Jurgen Klopp admires. He's a player we know Jurgen Klopp tried to bring to the club before. So for me, he'd be another great addition as well. 3-1 Villa, said John. I like Villa. I don't mind Villa coming back up. Obviously the John Terry connection's not great, but I don't like West Brom because of the whole Tony Pulis connection. Although I will always have admiration for West Brom for what they did with those 96 seats when Liverpool were playing at the Hawthorn. So for that, you know, they'll always have some fondness, but the club always banged the Tony Pulis to me, and just remembering some of the games against West Brom, and nah, not for me. Apparently we've been linked with Brandt, which I just spoke about. Front runners is what I'm seeing today in a lot of articles on that. Lee said there was a run in Walton Park today, a lot of man boobs bouncing. Yeah, I mean, some of us, I mean, yeah, I'm overweight and stuff, of course, but even when I drop down all the weight, it's just man boobs, I think, are in my fucking jeans. Villa win. Villa have won. So for those that are just watching, Aston Villa have qualified for the final of the playoffs to get to the Premier League. So congratulations to Aston Villa, commiserations to West Brom. So who are Villa going to face in the final? What do you guys think? Leeds, perhaps, maybe? Connor said yes. No West Brom. That's Connor in the Anfield Agenda account there. No West Brom. Yeah, I don't mean to be little West Brom, but I don't want them back in the Premier League. Do you think there'll be a Fabinho type transfer? By that, Louis, do you mean one that just goes completely under the radar, none of us have a Scooby-Doo about, and then we just see James Pearce tweeting something and bang, there's a player holding up a shirt? Yes, and I hope so, because I absolutely love those type of transfers, mate. Brandt was the best player in the German World Cup squad, said Philippe. Frank Skinner loves West Brom, always at their matches. Yeah, he's a massive West Bromwich Albion fan, Frank Skinner. I like Frank Skinner, he's a very funny guy. Jersey Boy reckons Derby, a lot of people saying Leeds. Honestly, I don't mind either. I like Leeds. I've some uncles, as I said, who support Leeds, but Derby are a fine club as well, so it's a hard league to get out of the Championship, so for Norwich and for Sheffield United, who are already up, and for either Derby, Leeds or Villa, it's going to be a good achievement to get out of that. It's a tough division. Brian Morrissey said McGrath played for Villa, so there's enough reason to back them. One of life's greatest gentlemen. And for me, my favourite player to ever wear the green shirt, Brian. I absolutely love Paul McGrath. The Irish Beard said I'd take a green, Pogba and Ozil, Gary Cahill. Come on, mate, now. Come on, Bants. What's the most important position Liverpool need to upgrade? That's a great question, Fadsa. Excuse me again if I mispronounce your name. That's a very good question, and it's one I'd like to put into the chat. So, what is the most important position for you guys that Liverpool need to upgrade? I'll hold off on giving you my answer because I don't want to influence anything. So, yeah, please do let me know. I'm happy with a fully fit Oxlade-Chamberlain for next season, said Ariel. Helwani, I'll keep going thinking, is that the real Ariel Helwani? I'm delighted. I love Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, mate. Mbappe would be unreal, said Craig. Yeah, unreal in a few ways, mate. As in, it's not going to happen. Who runs the Anfield Agenda Twitter account? Mainly me. Most of the time it's me. Sometimes Connor tweets, but I'd say, yeah, me. 95% of the time. Oh, as Connor even put there, yes, it's Craig 95% of the time. Why, mate? I'd like to know why. Is there something up? Anything I can help you with on Twitter? Craig or Connor, you just gave me a semi and then it went away when you said it was fake. Oh, what was it? What was fake? Damn, I'm missing out on some stuff here because I'm catching up on the chat. Leeds atmosphere should be good in the Premier League, said Lee. I hope Leeds do it. Or Derby for that matter. Fuck Derby, said Boya. No love for Derby from Anthony. We're going to get Anthony on, by the way, Leicester City FC Boyer. We're going to get him on during the summer a couple of times and get his thoughts, because I'm a big fan of Boya's channel. I love the way he does things, and yeah, I want to get him on some more and have a talk about the upcoming season, because I know he has high expectations and high hopes for Leicester City, and they have a very good young crop of players there, and I think Brendan Rodgers will do very well. So I'm looking forward to getting Anthony back on for a chat. And just to remind everybody, we're going to get Expressions on. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm going to have a chat to him and see. But we're going to do a full preview of the Champions League final. So you'll get myself, obviously, giving you the Liverpool perspective. And you'll get our man Expressions giving you the Spurs perspective. And expect fun, because he's a good dude. There's another 888 video gone out today, by the way. And this video is about what manager we take if we couldn't have our own manager at the club. So there was the same four gentlemen that were in the last one. There was myself, Expressions, Stephen McKierney and Adam McCullough. So United, City, Liverpool, Spurs. So please do go and check that one out. I retweeted it from the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. You can go on to 888 and have a look on there. And maybe comment on it, help me share it. Obviously, I said Pochettino because I like Pochettino as a manager, and if we didn't have Jurgen Klopp and I had to pick one of Pochettino, Pep or Solskjaer, for me, I went with Pochettino. But please do have a look at the video. I think, talking to the guys at 888 today, I think there's another one or two videos to come out soon as well. How long am I streaming till? About another 25 minutes or so, mate. Aidan Smithson said my coach to Madrid is £225, which isn't that bad. No, I would say that's alright, mate. I think that's pretty damn reasonable, to be fair. Dave is in, buddy. How are you? Welcome in. Hello, Reds. On to Madrid, he said. I can't wait, buddy. I cannot wait. Bring someone in to replace Milner, said Hardy Box. Why not? Dave, you're in the chat there. I might as well ask you, mate. What are you doing for the final, Dave? Anything planned? Have you had any joy in linking up with True Geordie? Nah, Billy. I've had no joy. The tweet's got a couple of 100 likes. It's had a good few retweets, and people have tagged True Geordie, and we've tried to get his attention. I don't know if he's seen it and just doesn't think I'm a good fit, or if he hasn't seen it. But either way, I'm going to keep trying. Leeds won the shootout. Sorry, I can see a few people asking. Aston Villa. Aston Villa won the shootout, and they've qualified for the playoff final. I bet Pulisic wishes he joined Liverpool. If we wanted him, Darragh, we'd have gotten him. That's how I feel about that. I think Jurgen Klopp just thought it wasn't for him. I can't think of any logical reason, if Jurgen Klopp wanted Christian Pulisic, why he'd choose Chelsea over Liverpool. It would be an easy decision. Because obviously with the Jurgen Klopp connection. Am I going to Madrid? No, mate. Nah. Just too expensive too rich for my blood at this moment in life. Derby or Leeds? Both clubs I think are great clubs. I would say Leeds. Maybe just my family connection would push towards Leeds a little bit more. Luke said, "Hey Craig, mate, total disgrace from the City players. Should be ashamed. Would never have seen United players at their peak singing like that." No, I agree. Not a hope. None of them would have. The club has too much class for that. Kieran said, "Griezmann confirmed to be leaving at Letty. Surely Barca can't afford Griezmann, De Ligt, De Jong and Coutinho." I agree, mate. De Jong, that's a done deal. We know that he's on his way. De Ligt, I'm very interested to see what happens with Matthias De Ligt. Has Milner left? No, not yet. Somebody told me that he has an option to extend it by a year. That's what somebody told me. Now, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if Liverpool have an option to trigger an extension. I don't know if James Milner has an option to trigger an extension. But either way, whatever happens, James Milner is an absolute legend. I love Jimmy Milner, and I hope for as well as our own sakes, I'd love to see Jimmy Milner get a Champions League winners medal, because a man who has dedicated himself to his craft, who has kept himself in such pristine condition, who has lived the life of a professional athlete, he deserves it. So I hope to God James Milner gets that Champions League winners medal. Troops and expressions are classed together, said Fionn Tierney. It's almost 3 weeks of the finals. Ridiculous. Both teams will be out of shape and not playing. They kind of had to do it, mate, because some leagues still have 2 games left. Some leagues even more. So they just wanted to make sure that every team, their league were finished and they're ready to go. Jurgen Klopp has given the guys 5 days off, I believe, to get some rest and recuperation. And then he said they're going to have a mini pre-season ahead of the Champions League final. Dave said, "No plans, Craig. Hoping for a ticket, but it doesn't look good." I hope you get one, buddy. I really do. I hope everyone that's trying to get a ticket gets one, because I don't like fans missing out, but it'll be difficult. Boya said, "I keep tagging True Geordie." Thank you, mate. I hopefully we'll get his attention someday. It'd be good fun. As I said, it's one of my things I'd like to tick off in life, to get on there and have a chat with him. And I know Connor's a big fan of Lawrence as well. I know Connor likes Lawrence on the show, so it would be great for myself and Connor to get over sometime and do the kickoff or something. It would be fun. Hopefully it happens, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. Any update on the Bobby injury? Oh, he'll be fit for the final, Morton. He'll be fit for the final, mate. Neil Anthony, said, "I got a feeling the day after the Champions League final, Nabil Fekir will be announced holding the red shirt." There's a few people feel that way, Neil. As I've always said, if the club can get past whatever the issue was that stopped the transfer happening in the first place, whether it be the ACL, whether it be the way his knee was rebuilt, whether it be I keep going to say Johnny Cunty Locks because I can't remember his name, Aulas. Whether it was Aulas and negotiating a fee, I don't know. But if the club are happy, I'd be more than happy for Nabil Fekir to be a Liverpool player. If Leeds get promoted, James Milner will leave, said Coyes. And you could not begrudge him. If he wanted to go back and finish his career in the Premier League with Leeds, I think every single Liverpool fan would say, job well done, James Milner. Thank you, mate, for everything you've done for the club. And you go do whatever you want to do, pal, because he's earned that right. Evan Guest said VVD and Genie will get into De Ligt's ear, like Firmino did with Alisson. I hope so, Evan. I hope so, buddy. I think Millie might give it one more season with us and try and get the league title before he returns to Leeds to finish his career, said John Hamilton. Ribena all round if Jimmy bangs one in. Might be worth tagging Lawrence, said Red Hulk. I think Connor did that one already. I think. But if you want to help us out with this, actually, go over to the Anfield Agenda Twitter account. It's just at Anfield Agenda, and you'll see the tweet on there. I say something like, "Hey, at True Geordie, any chance of having this bald Irish idiot on the kickoff sometime, mate? I promise I won't get my moves out, or at least I'll try my best." Something along those lines. I can't remember the exact wording of it. So if you want to go on there, give that a retweet, tag him, like the picture or like the tweet. We'll try and get his attention. Do I think we should sign Diabala? I would love to. Dararito Gaming. Absolutely, mate. I think he's an exceptional footballer. I think, again, under Jurgen Klopp, I think he'd come on leaps and bounds as well. May as well use Fakir's pictures from last year, said Lee. Be shame to waste them, Lee, wouldn't it? We've all seen them already, so. Batman, you would love Milner, said Lee as well. What's the Leon's president's name again? Michel Aulas, aka Johnny Cuntylocks, which is what we call him on the channel. I don't even know how that name came about. I don't know where that came from. One other thing. We're probably going to look at... Nah, will I say that? Yeah, we're thinking about some Heronomics merchandise, by the way. Because Heronomics, as I told you guys before, is a word that I use every single day, and the fact I haven't used it much on the stream is mad. So yeah, we're looking at maybe adding some Heronomics merch to the little few bits and pieces that we do. Barnes said, I think Liverpool's track record this season and the last one has given me faith that whoever they sign will turn out great. I'm with you on that one. Thoughts on Julian Brandt, said Top Man Nolo. An excellent footballer, mate. That, yeah, I'd be very happy to have at Liverpool Football Club, particularly with that 20 or 22 million quid price tag. Papandu said, hi Craig, may have discussed this already, but I heard Barcelona have offered Coutinho back to Liverpool. What are your thoughts? I don't know if they have or have not, but no for me. Don't like the way he left. Don't like the way he tried to go behind Klopp's back and get other senior players to help force through the transfer. Don't like the way his team put out that there was a fallout with him and Klopp. I don't like the way he feigned a back injury twice. And I don't like the fact that he destabilised their club at a very important part of our season, albeit we ended up going on and having a good end to the season. Not for me. It was great when he was here. Enjoyed watching him as a footballer at Liverpool, but it's not my say, mate. If Jurgen Klopp wants him, then that will be another thing. But for me, I really don't think it's going to happen. Brian and Missy the Bulldog Bully said, Milner has have a few years yet at Liverpool. Have you any predictions for the starting 11 for Madrid? Yeah, why not? Let's have a go. Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. Even if Gomez is fit, I'm still going with Matip because I think Klopp talks about a rhythm and Matip's in that rhythm. So Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson. I think he will go... Oh, this is going to be difficult. Fabinho, Henderson, Gini, or Fabinho, Henderson, Milner, or Fabinho, Milner, Gini. I can't really give you the three out of those four because you can make an argument for every single one of them deserving to start. People will talk about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as well. I don't think he starts. I don't think Klopp disrupts the players by starting him because he hasn't got that match rhythm. I think maybe we might see him from the bench and then up top the front three. That's my prediction. I don't see any change there. Firmino, Salah, Mane. Is Milner leaving? Nobody knows, Kieran. Nobody knows yet, mate. Can you get Twitter to verify you? When accounts are verified, people receive the tweets. No, they're not accepting any applications for verification, mate. They're in the midst of redoing the way they verify accounts. So, unfortunately, No, we can't get verified on Twitter. Heronomics tattoo for Connor? I don't see why not, Stephen. I mean, yeah, that would be a form of heronomics in itself. Didn't Brandt turn us down? He did, Morton. Yep, he did previously. Apparently, Brandt is valued at 45 million. He has a buyout clause in his deal, from what I'm led to believe. Oh, dog, isn't there a 21 million, something like that, buyout clause? Klopp's a mastermind, said Mark Shear. He absolutely is, my friend. Darryl said, we don't need midfielders. A striker and a defender is all that we need. Our midfield is strong. Sorry, I'm trying to read through some more comments here. I'd love Zaha, said Morton. Yeah, myself and Connor actually spoke about Zaha. What's everybody's thoughts on Wilfried Zaha? Would you like him at Liverpool? I think he'd be an excellent addition. I think he'd fit right in as well. Some people, I don't think he scores enough goals. Some people think he blows a little bit hot and cold. Some people don't like that Manchester United connection. I think he's a very good footballer, and I would be more than happy to have Zaha at Liverpool. Haynes said Fabinho, Gini and Hendo in the midfield for the final. Krishna said Zaha and Fekir equals 100 plus points. Cobra said Milner's 12 months left now. He doesn't, mate. His contract's up at the end of the season. Now, if there's an option there to extend, that's fair enough. But Sky did an article recently on players who are out of contract in the summer, and they put together an 11, and Milner was part of that 11. So, as far as I'm aware, his contract's up in the summer. Twitter are a joke. They've been redoing it for 2 years. It's been a long time, Kevin. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I'd love to get the Anfield Agenda account verified. How long is Naby out for? I don't think he'll be back for the Actually, he won't be back for the Champions League final, Red Hulk. And it's up in the air as to whether he'd be available for the African Cup of Nations. I know that the Guinea manager or somebody from Guinea has come out and said that it's too early to rule him out for that. But let's just wait and see. G said, I agree with you in your opinion, but I swear we had a first buyback option on Coutinho in the deal if we sold him from Barcelona. I don't know. What I remember is that Michael Edwards had negotiated the fact that Barcelona couldn't come back in for one of our players for 2 years without paying €100 million tax or something like that, whatever you want to call it, fee on top of any transfer fee for the player. I think that was part of the deal to just get him the fuck off and just leave. No, stop. Did you catch the Villa game, Craig? It was great. I caught it up until about 10 minutes ago, mate, and then I had to come up here and get set up. Who do I want to win the playoffs? I honestly don't mind. Leeds, Derby, Villa. Any of the three of them, I don't mind which one of them comes up. Gun to my head, probably Leeds. I'd like to see Leeds back in the Premier League. But then again, I wouldn't mind any of the three of them. Don't want Zaha. We don't need the hassle. Is he hassle? Is he? I don't know. Was he much work? He's another Shaqiri, said Dave Sweeney. Wilfried's a winner, said Mark. Lewis Johnson said no. Dean said I'd love Zaha, but we'd be a club that would be interested in him being a bench player. See, this is sometimes the thing that I don't think we should be talking about like that. You can't just think of Liverpool as a starting 11. You've got to think of a squad now. Look at Manchester City. Look at Riyad Mahrez as an example. You want a squad that's going to be able to take the rigours of going to try and win 4 competitions. So we can't just look at it as a starting 11 anymore. If we go far in all 4 competitions, then there should be enough games to share around to everybody and keep everybody happy. Hoddy Scotty 82 said Zaha is too greedy. Zaha is a social media footballer, said FK. He's going to be VVD money. There's much better available at that price point. Yeah, see that now, Brian, I agree with. I think the price for Zaha would be nuts. And I agree that you get better value elsewhere. So that I absolutely accept that. Well, I say accept that like I'm the fucking be all and end down here. Sorry, that's not what I really meant to say. I think your point is spot on, is what I was trying to say. So proud of our club, Craig, in every respect, said Bernadette. Yes, we won trophies, but what Klopp is building will keep us back as a fair club for a long time. Thoughts on Griezmann leaving Atletico? We've already gone through that one, mate. I think it's shithousery from him. The fact he made those 2 videos last year, do you know, where he made one saying he's gone to Barca and one saying he was staying at Atleti, and then he's done this to the Atleti fans a year later. I mean, I don't even think he's as good as many people believe, to be fair. I think he's got worse over the years. Far Isle said, we have to fill out our squad with quality players off the bench, like having a Sané, which will provide rest, rotation and a late spark to games. And that's a very good example that Far Isle has just given. Leroy Sané has changed. Look at the Manchester United City game as an example. When Leroy Sané came off the bench there, that massively changed that game, and United shit themselves. And we need that type of a bench as well. So as much as we'll have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain available next season to give more strength and depth, as much as we'll have young Ryan Brewster coming through as well, I think we still do need at least 3 or 4 more top quality players. Darren Maguire said Zaha be good backup for Mane or Salah, and he can score and create. Just in from work, Craig, I'm sure you've covered it already, but them City players are arrogant little gimps, can't stand the cunts. That's pretty much where we went with it, Owen, along those lines, mate. Zaha will help us a lot in the league games and the FA Cup games, said Krishna. Zaha's not greedy, he plays for Palace. Who does he pass to? Benteke. Nobody wants to pass to Benteke, Greg, that's a good point. I'd love to see Zaha at Liverpool, he's a top player, said Mossy. Zaha isn't a bench player in my opinion, he's going to want a front and centre stage position, said Barnes. I love that, this is a real divisive player, isn't it? I mean, we've gone both ways on this in the chat, which is why I love our subscribers, and I love the fact that we have these conversations. And sometimes I read some comments and I go, ooh, in my head I go, yeah, that makes sense, and then other times I read somebody else and I go, no, I'm back over on this side now and I agree with him. Thoughts on Koulibaly? An excellent centre back, a very, very top level centre back that would grace any team, but we don't need him. He's not the right player for us. You're talking the same money, if not more, than we get De Ligt for. So if you're going to be looking to spend top money on a centre-back, for us, I would go with De Ligt. For the likes of United, probably exactly what they'd need. Griezmann's an excellent player, but he'll never beat the season he had a few years ago. After that, he's petered out. Again, I think you're right. I think he was exceptional at one point, and while he's still a very top-level player, I don't think he is fit to be mentioned in the same breath as the top 6, 7, 8 players in the world for me. That's just my opinion though. I think Sané might leave during the summer. I'd be amazed if Manchester City would let Leroy Sané leave. Although look, he isn't getting a lot of starts, but he's still a very young footballer that's developing. And look at what Pep did with Raheem Sterling, and maybe you could use that as an example to Leroy Sané. But look, Leroy Sané is an exceptional, very, very high level, good footballer. She's very good, to be fair. Far Isle said Mark Aldridge was doing a YouTube clip about Koulibaly and how they're close to signing him. United are close to signing him. Maddison is an option, plenty of room for improvement, said Eric. I don't think Leicester will let him go, mate. Not for something that will, without something being ridiculous. I mean, Leicester's owners are looking to build there and strengthen and back Brendan Rodgers, and they've got a good crop of young players. And he's only there a year, so I don't think anybody will be able to get Maddison out of Leicester this summer. Weird title, Craig. What's the title of the stream? Connor sets that up, mate. I don't even remember what the title is. Was it not something about Manchester City being pathetic or something along that? What is the title? Connor, if you're still in the chat, mate, what is the stream title tonight? I did read it, but I can't remember it now. But they deserve it, Pat. They are absolute shithouses, the Manchester City players, and lack any class whatsoever. And if I'd have written the title, do you know what I'd probably have gone with? What a shower of cunts City's players are. I'd have gone even harsher than Connor. Which is why I don't do them, because I'm too emotional to get involved in certain things, and Connor is much more level-headed than I am. Zaha has Premier League experience and consistently performing for Palace. Get it done, Jurgen, said Mark. If Sané left City, I'd love Sané to come to Liverpool, said Jersey Boy. Yeah, I wanted to get him when he went from Schalke to Manchester City. He's a very good player. What do you think happens with Lovren? Stay or go, said Barnes. Go. I think go. I've seen a couple of links linking him to moves to Italy. I like Lovren. I think he's great to have around the dressing room, and he can be an excellent defender. Look, he has a mistake in him, there's no doubt in that, but I think this might be the summer he moves on. But no ill feeling for me at all towards Dejan Lovren, none whatsoever. Greg Duffy said, I'd take Ben Chilwell from Leicester. I don't think we need him, Greg. As good as he is, and he is an exceptional footballer, someone that we looked at when Rodgers was here. With Andrew Robertson, I think a young backup player to him. And Ben Chilwell, would he want to come and sit on the bench? Because he would be sitting on the bench for a lot of the season. Even if we're looking at rotation, the back four is something you try to rotate as little as possible. Fekir would be the only signing I want at Liverpool, said Jason Philpotts. I'd love him as well, Jason, mate. If we could get past whatever it was that stopped us signing him last time. The title is Man City are a disgrace. Oh yeah, I stand over that then. That's, yeah. Manchester City are a disgrace. There you go. I don't see why it's an odd title. The way that the song they sang today and the way they belittled their football club, fuck them. Sorry, I should rephrase that. Fuck have to be on point there. You know, I have to stay on brand. Keep Lovren for morale. Yeah, he does like to bust the move in the dressing room, FK, doesn't he? He was great after that Barcelona game. I think Manchester City are a disgrace, yeah. The more I'm looking at the comments there, yeah, I think it's Connor nailed that title. Did you see the City fans at Brighton throwing beer at Gary Neville and chanting about Munich? Now you see, this is about the City fans, whereas what's happened on the plane there, that's about the players. I wouldn't hold that against the fans at all. This is about the fans though, and again, I don't want to tar all Manchester City fans with the same brush, the same way I wouldn't want to tar all Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, United fans. There was a certain group of dickheads that threw a pint of beer at Gary Neville, who showed great reflexes, I might add, in ducking. And the chants about Munich were sickening. Sickening, disgusting. And again, not really much coverage. Where was Sky for that? Where, I don't know if BBC covered it actually, so I don't want to, I'll be critical of them on that one. Where was all the coverage of that, like there was when Liverpool had a couple of dickheads that pushed your man in the fountain, a couple of gobshites that embarrassed their club, and the same gobshite that then went and pulled down the steward's pants before the game against Wolves at the weekend? Where's all the Sky fume about this? Where's all the articles? Where's all the tweets? Yeah, they're nowhere to be fucking seen. That's where they are. Who do you think our big summer signing will be? I hope it's Werner. Fletcher? I hope it's Werner. I'd take De Ligt as well. Either of those two, mate, would be brilliant. If you had to take any Real Madrid player, who would you take? Asensio, probably. Klopp will replace Lovren with the lad from Burnley. I don't know. Will he? I know we were linked with him last year. I don't know if we got back in for Tarkowski or not. Or not that I even know if we actually went in for him, but I don't know. There was definitely a lot of links, and a lot of people said Klopp was an admirer of Tarkowski, but I don't know if he will or not. Yes, we can see your comment, mate. Man United fan FC. Yeah, we can certainly see your comment, buddy. Does Woodburn have a future with us? I don't know. I would imagine at the best case scenario, alone for Ben Woodburn. You can't write a player that young off. He had a little bit of an unlucky time at Sheffield United. They were doing so well and he picked up injuries. I don't know, is my honest answer, Dara. I'd like to see him have a future with us, but we're progressing and getting better and better and better, and it would be very difficult. Jimenez and Moutinho are class players for Wolves. I'd try one or both of them. Well, there is obviously links to... Oh, no, sorry, that's not either of those two. To Ruben Neves, who I know a lot of Liverpool fans like as well. Pep and Linder's worked for 6 or 7 years with Porto and was there when Ruben Neves was coming through and spoke very highly of Ruben Neves. Jimenez and Moutinho. Moutinho's getting right towards the end of his career, isn't he? What age is he? He's in his 30s now, surely. Keep Lovren for another year so we can get Nate and KJ ready. Then you wouldn't be really looking to bring in anybody, would you, Krishna? And my problem with Lovren and Matip is Matip has been, I have to say, on this, Matip has put together a run of games. But beforehand, both of them, too many soft injuries. Not enough of being able to get a run of games together. So I think we will probably move on one of them. But look, I'm only guessing. What do you think about the links to Sessegnon? An excellent player, Dara. An excellent player. If I was to hazard a guess, I would say Spurs will go hard for Ryan Sessegnon and try and get a deal done there. But I love him. I mean, if we're talking about which relegated player would you go for, then he'd be my player. Franco said, Craig, for me, if we could get DeLit and the Dybala/Fekir, it would be happy. Your views? Over the moon, mate. 100% agree with you. FK said, Manchester City shameless in victory, embarrassing fans and players. Apparently they're saving football. Yeah, and apparently we'd be a disaster if we won the league. Do you know what I mean? We'd be unbearable. You wouldn't have got any of that stuff from our players. Our players were gracious, magnanimous in defeat because they're class. Is Modric leaving Real Madrid? I don't know, Hayne. I honestly have no idea, pal. Josh said Liverpool do want Tarkowski. Scotty said, Craig, who would you get as backup left back? Well, there's been lots of talk about the guy from the under-23s whose name I can never fucking remember. What's his name? Somebody will save me in the chat here again. Is it Adam Lewis? Is that the guy's name? I think he's very highly thought of and has progressed very well, so maybe he'll come in as the backup left back. I'd love to see Wilson get a chance next season, said Owen Farrelly. Yeah, there's been lots of love for Harry Wilson with Reds this season. Haven't watched them quite a bit. I still think there's more development needed from Harry Wilson. He can drift in and out of games too much for my liking. Nobody can deny he's got an absolute wand of a left foot. His free kick, sensational. Set piece delivery, fantastic. But I just don't know if he's involved enough in games for my liking yet. We're going for another young Dutch centre-back, as in DeLit. We do have Keanu Hoover, of course, as well, who's at the club. Probably a year or two away from being a proper first-team player. Which is why I suggested before that it might be worth looking at Toby Alderweireld as an option for a couple of years. He has a 25 million buyout clause, I think, at Spurs this season. And that would allow us to develop Keanu Hoover, Nate Phillips, as somebody spoke about before, Connor Masterson as well. So that's another sensible option if you're looking towards giving the young guys a chance. Morton said Sessegnon headed for Spurs. Man United FC said, I'm a United fan and I dislike Liverpool more, but I respect Liverpool far more than City. Thank you, mate. And you're welcome into the chat, by the way. I'm not sure if it's your first time. If it is, welcome. So excited to see Brewster next season. Can't believe he's so young, yet Klopp picked him for the first team for ages and battled really hard, mate, to keep him at the club and get him to sign his first professional contract. If you remember last summer, we actually cancelled a friendly with Borussia Mönchengladbach because they were trying to poach Ryan Brewster and the club weren't happy with the way they were going about it. And Melissa Reddy did I think it was an article, or maybe it was a tweet, I think it was an article that she wrote saying how many top European clubs were looking to get Ryan Brewster last year. And if you remember when Mohamed Salah won the Player of the Year, Jurgen Klopp gave an interview, a pre-recorded interview where he spoke about Mohamed Salah, and he went as far as to mention Ryan Brewster in that as well, because he really does think highly of the kid, as do I. Let's bring in another Brazilian like Moura, said Rob. Well, Lucas Moura won't leave Spurs, but I mean, you can never have too many Brazilians, Rob. Rabiot for free and sell Grujic. Possible. I'd seen links to Adrian Rabiot to Manchester United today as well. Selling Grujic, I don't know what the plan is there. Some people I've spoken to believe we will sell him, and Atleti were interested in him. That much has been reported in the media. Other people that I've spoken to think that he'll go on loan to a club that's going to be playing European football next season, maybe back to Germany. Juve aren't willing to sell Dybala anymore, though. Is that right? I don't know, Kevin. I honestly haven't got a clue what Juve... I have heard Juve... Somebody in Juve said he's not going anywhere. So I don't know which person it was. It was one of their higher-ups. But, I mean, that was a few weeks ago. I don't know if anything has changed. Will Kelleher be back up next season? I hope so, Greg. I've said this before. I like Creevin Kelleher. I think he's a very good keeper. Grabara, another good young keeper. But I have a bit of a gripe with this. What's the point in bringing young keepers through all the time if none of them get a chance at the club? So for me, I would give one of them a chance as a backup. Good Day Podcast said, what did Manchester City do this time? I don't really want to go back over this again. The players were on the plane back from Brighton and they were singing LA, 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 but the version of LA, LA, LA that they were singing had references, you've probably heard the fans singing it before, had references to Vincent Kompany injuring Mohamed Salah, had references to Liverpool being victims throughout it all, had references to our fans being battered in the streets, It had references to Raheem Sterling winning the double, the Scousers winning fuck all. Just horrible, sickening, shitty behaviour from a bunch of professionals that should know better, but even in victory are obsessed with Liverpool Football Club. Who would you want to replace Moreno's backup for Robbo? As I said earlier on, I think we probably will see Adam Lewis, I think his name is, come true. There was also links a while back, wasn't there, to a kid from... Who was it? Oh, was it a kid in League One or something? I can't remember. Bristol. I think it was a young kid from Bristol, who of course aren't in League One, they're in the Championship. I think there was links there as well, if memory serves. I can't remember the guy's name. Connor said David Ornstein has said it will likely be a quieter summer for Liverpool in terms of transfers, with a backup left back and a versatile forward to replace Sturridge the only likely incomings. Interesting. A traditional number 9 won't be signed because of Klopp's faith in Brewster. Makes sense, which would of course rule out Timo Werner unless he sees Timo Werner playing somewhere else, as in positionally. Arsenal are reportedly going to have 40 million only. Jesus, that's crap, original gunner. What is Kroenke at there? He's got a manager in who clearly knows what he's at. A good manager in Unai Emery. Arsenal can play some great football at times. I still think they're a little bit soft. I think they need a bit more steel throughout the team. That's madness. Original gunner, mate. I mean, deserve better than that. Unai Emery deserves better than that as well. Harry Carling said, I think Grabara will be back up next season because he had a successful loan. Right, guys, 5 more minutes and then we're going to call it a night. Lloyd Kelly, that was the goal. Thank you, Red Hulk. That was the gentleman I was trying to think of. Thank you to Neil Anthony, Jack's Page, and everybody else who's putting in Lloyd Kelly, Kirby Power. You guys are fucking brilliant. And Fletcher as well. You've always bailed me out. It should be you guys sitting here doing this and not me, because, I mean, your knowledge is always a lot clearer and better than mine when it comes to stuff like this. Lloyd Kelly and Ziyech, you heard it here first, and Virgil. Liverpool looking at Maxi Gomez. We did speak about that the other night, Morton. Maxi Gomez, obviously at Celta Vigo, a Uruguayan international, and we've been linked to him for at least one window previously. I've no idea what the transfer fee might be for him. Connor said Arsenal's budget will be 40 without Champions League, 100 with, according to David Ornstein. David Ornstein, Connor's all over David Ornstein tonight. Oh, that sounded a bit weird. From a factual point of view, I mean, with his comments. I don't mean in a physical point of view. Although, you never know. Liverpool to make over 200 million in profit after this great season, said the Truth Bot. Obviously, we did post in excess of 100 million quid profit already this year. Another good run to the final of the Champions League. We're the top earners for television money, I believe, in the Premier League this season, or prize money in the Premier League. James Pearce said Liverpool could sign up to 4 players in the summer, said Fletcher. Phil Neville going to Brighton. I've seen this earlier on, that Brighton were looking at Phil Neville or the guy from Swansea, the guy who used to manage Ostrons. What's his name? I can't think of his name. Yeah, it was one of those two. What the fuck would you go for Phil Neville for? Honestly. He's in a job that he shouldn't have got in the first place, managing the England national women's team. There was people eminently more qualified than him for that job that should have got that job. So if Phil Neville gets the job at Brighton and they fucking, after sacking Chris Hughton, that is shambolic from Brighton's owner. Absolutely shambolic. Are you going to watch the Women's World Cup this year? I don't know, mate. Is the honest answer. I haven't got a clue. Maybe. If there's football on TV, yeah, the odds are I'll probably be watching it. Is Higuain on loan or is he staying at Chelsea? He was on loan to the end of the season in Holoko, mate. I don't know if there's an option to buy there or not. Better make it 10 minutes, Craig. I'm not done with my popcorn, said Morton. Why not, mate? I'll go another 5 just for you and your popcorn. And I'm serious, I will. 30 million for Maxi Gomez, said Jack. 25 million for Julian Brandt is a steal, said the Truth Bot. Shout out to anyone that hasn't subscribed yet. If you're enjoying the stream, guys, please do hit that subscribe button, and of course drop a like on the stream as well. We have our season, I suppose, technically ends on June the 1st, so let's see how far we can get the channel. We've got past 15,000 subs. Let's see if we can hit or go past 16,000 before the season finishes, which will be just amazing. Connor saying, David, if you're watching, hit me up. I actually got what HMU meant there, Connor. I mean, look, I'm not so old. I got the HMU reference. No, not Gary Monk. No, not Gary Monk. Who's the guy at Swansea? The guy that came in from Osterans. I can never remember his name. What is his name? No, I can't think of his name. It's gone. Ruben Neves, the LFC, said Liam. He'd be a great player. I don't know if we need him or not. Can Arsenal get Champions League if City get banned? I honestly don't know the answer to that, Rob Ron. Obviously, if Arsenal win the Europa League, then it's job done. No problem there whatsoever. Chelsea already qualified, of course, for the Champions League. Phil Neville is a crash test dummy with concussion made human, said Brian Morrissey. Isn't it Graham something? Is that the Austrians manager's name? It's coming back to me bit by bit here. Well, sorry, the Swansea manager's name now. I'd love Nevis, said Andrew Childerhouse. Kai Havertz is a good young German, said Eric Worry. A lot of people will have a lot of time for Kai Havertz as well. We've spoken about him on the stream. Graham Potter, that's the one. Thank you, Connor and Tom Boland, for that. Maybe 13 minutes. I just popped a 16-ounce tin. Nah, sorry mate, I can't quite go that long. My voice won't hold up, and I'm still knackered. Last night was the first time I got more than 3 hours sleep in a night since the Barcelona game. So yeah, I'm still tired. We're linked to Kieran Jones at Norwich as well, 23-year-old centre-back. Thank you for that, Morton. Liam said, something really needs to be done to these scumbag City fans, or not fans, excuse me, I'll have to restart that because I completely got that wrong. Something needs to be done to these scumbag City, mate. They've got no fucking respect whatsoever. This really pisses me off. I'm with you, Liam. It's sickening, mate. It's disgusting. That's why we went so strongly with the stream title tonight and with the image for the stream tonight. What do you think happens to Klein? He moves on, Fletcher. I don't know where to. I don't know if he'll stay at Bournemouth. I think whoever gets Klein, he is still going to get a very good player who can perform at the top level. I'm shocked that we let him go. It was his decision, I believe. Jurgen Klopp was approached and Klein, he said he wanted some game time. And look, you can never talk down about a player who just wants to play. Matthew said, are you going to Madrid? I'm going, it'll be boss. Not for me at the minute, Matthew. It's out of my price range at this moment in time. Nor will I have any hope of getting a ticket either. But to anyone that is going, whether you've got a ticket or not, I hope you have a great time. Want to see some more youngsters come through as well. Not for us just to spend like Manchester City, said Luke. And yeah, I believe that's important, Luke, because clubs are trying to attract the best young footballers in, and Liverpool, of course, have been doing that. But for these young footballers, it is important to see a pathway through to the first team. Trent has done it, of course. Keanu Hoover looks like he's on the fast track as well. Nat Phillips we've spoken about. Ryan Brewster is going to be sensational next season. So you're right, mate. It is important that the young kids see a pathway through. Who leaked the footage of the City players? It was actually a Manchester City fan account, Sonia. And I don't think that the account realised quite what it was doing. Because they went with Manchester City players on the plane back singing LA, 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 celebrating league title, something along those lines, and then it was picked up on the lyrics of what they were saying, and that video has been, I think it's been shared around almost 1 million times at this point, or it's been viewed almost 1 million times. The African Cup of Nations, of course, as Graham Holmes said, is on this summer as well. Param said, Craig, I'm not even worried about the transfer window because Michael Edwards is a very shrewd operator. He's class, Param, mate. Michael Edwards is fucking sensational, buddy. I'm with you on that one. If you don't spend, you can't compete with the likes of City, I'm afraid, said Morton. Yes, to an extent. But look, I think it's fair that we can say that Jurgen Klopp, Michael Edwards, the entire recruitment team have played a blinder in what they've done so far. Morton said, I can't see Kloppo spending 80 million for De Ligt, but I'd love him. I think we all would, mate. Ajax coach said Keanu Hoover is better than De Ligt at that age, said Neil Anthony. Look, Keanu Hoover, from what we've seen, seems like an exceptional talent. Still nothing on Sky Sports about City, said Daryl. It's fucking shocking, mate, isn't it? It really is. Like, I know we sound like bitter fuckers here in regard to this thing about Sky, but they were quick enough to put up stuff when our fans were acting like dickheads. This is about the team, not the fans. This is about their team acting like gobshites. And yeah, Sky need to be better. And not just Sky. I don't just want to single out Sky here, but they're probably the most prominent outlet when it comes to football in the UK. So yeah, I would have expected more from them, to be fair. Has anyone ever told you look like Matt Lucas? No, mate, because I don't look anything like Matt Lucas. Just because he's bald, but I don't look like Matt Lucas. I've been told I look like Bateson. I've been told I look like somebody from the Young Ones, I think it was. I can't remember if the guy's name was. Dara O'Brien. And I can see some likenesses to all of them, but I really don't look like Matt Lucas, mate. Matt Lucas, I wish I was as funny as Matt Lucas, because he's brilliant, massively talented fella, but I don't think I look like Matt Lucas. If I can, do you know what I might do though? I might get a nappy on, and you know the way he had his baby character, so I might come on with a nappy one day and play the giant baby. Uncle Fester, said Connor. Humpty Dumpty, of course, as well. Gollum, fuck you, I've never heard Gollum before. Sloth, yeah, I remember Sloth. A Human Thumb, that was another one. Somebody actually put my head on a picture of a thumb. All of those, yeah, fair play. Do I watch Game of Thrones? No, I don't. I can't watch anything science fiction based or anything that isn't realistic. Connor having a fucking field day here with the slagging. Is he getting it all out of his system? Good man. Jack said you do look a bit like Matt Lucas. I don't. I mean, you've heard me admit to all of these. I just don't see the Matt Lucas lookalike personally. Alexi Salas, that's the one. That's the one, Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's the one. And I've seen a picture of him and I thought, yeah, do you know what? That was nailed on. Ming the Merciless in the cartoon, said Connor. Yeah, I'll give you that one as well. Definitely the way the little goatee is drawn on. Have I ever seen Star Wars? I've seen it, but I couldn't sit through it all because I just kept going. See, this is the reason why. I look at stuff like that and my brain goes, that's not possible. Why are they doing this? That couldn't happen. So yeah, that's why I can't watch it. I don't know if it's the Asperger's. I don't know what it is in my brain, but I just look at that type of stuff and I go, it's not possible. Why are they doing this? That can't happen. I know it sounds crap, but unfortunately that is the way my brain works. Joanne said, you don't look like Matt Lucas. Thank you, Joanne. I don't think I do either. Derek Stockbridge, who is clearly some type of gobshite, still crying, blah, ha, 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 ha. So, you know what's funny about this, Derek, mate, is that I'm on here having fun, enjoying life, and you're some sad little prick who has come on to our channel to try and belittle us. Mate, go look at some tits or have a wank or get your mother to read you a bedtime story or something, mate. Whatever brings fun to your life, but try and share some love around the world, Derek. It's much nicer, mate, than being a little shit. And if you remember, mate, we were actually quite good and magnanimous in defeat, unlike your shithouse of a team who can't even win properly, mate. Do you know what I mean? You win and you're still obsessed with us. So, Derek, I'm sending you a big virtual hug, mate, because it sounds like you need it, buddy, because, you know, whatever's going on in your life, you seem like a bit of a bitter little cunt. Fabian Barthez, I've heard that one as well. I've heard Fabian Barthez as well. The caricature cracks me up. Pablo Escobar or Paddy Escobar. That's a good shout, Bernadette. Put all our eggs in the Mbappe basket. He'd guarantee the league, said Neil. Look, he's an exceptional footballer. Needs to cut down with this diving and rolling around stuff, but Kylian Mbappe is top level. Trent needs to move into a more attacking role and get replaced at right back. Not for me, David. We've actually talked about this lots of times. I think Trent could go on to be the best right back in world football. I don't think you could say the same about him if we moved him a bit forward into midfield. He could play there without a shadow of a doubt. Trent is talented enough to play anywhere, but For me, I think his best position is right back or right wing back. You look like a bald Brad Pitt. I'm fucking having that. And hello, go. I'm having that. Just call me Brad from now on. That's it, Mr. Pitt, and that's the end of it. And Loki, you're my new favourite person, mate. Just for that comment, mate. You're getting a moderator, mate. Just for that comment. There you go. Get your tits out for the lads. Go lads, being there, done that, mate. You know what I mean? Took off the t-shirt. What's the most reliable website for transfers? I don't know if there is such a thing, Original Gunner, because everybody in the genuine media reports what they believe to be the case. Some people are just shithouses. There's on Twitter you've got a lot of ITKs that are just completely guessing and making shit up. I'd stick to the originals, the Echo. I'd stick to. I know some people don't like the Echo. I do. I think they're a very good outlet. I like James Pearce as well. I would stick to. Who else would I say is very reliable when it comes to transfer news? David Maddock, pretty good. What's the guy that worked for the Times again? Tony Barrett? Not Tony Barrett, sorry. Tony Barrett's, of course, our fucking club liaison officer. Who's the guy that works for the Times? Tony... The guy, he has the most faked account on Twitter, and I can never remember his name when it comes to transfers. Hello, Brad Pitt to the Regional Gunner. Paul Joyce is the one I'm trying to think of. Yes, it's not Tony anything, Fletcher. You're absolutely right. It's Paul Joyce. Nothing to do with Tony. Yeah, there you go again. This is what you guys should be in charge on here, and I should just sit here and smile or something. Obviously Mundo Sporto and Manuel Labor, you can't go wrong there. Lorenzo Fidado as well, another absolute legend when it comes to us making up transfers. Paul Joyce, yes. How could I think Tony anything? And then I said Tony fucking Barrett, like talking about our club's liaison officer. You forgot Indy Kayla. Well, look, everyone, you gotta love Indy Kayla. You know it's banter with Indy Kayla, but it's good fun. Wow, look at the time, ladies and gents. I'm gonna call that a night. We're nearly gone for 2 hours now. This is the longest stream I've done in a very, very long time. Brad, you should just sit down and look pretty. I'll just sit here and put lipstick on tomorrow and just go. Practice my blue steel between now and tomorrow. There you go. That sounds like a plan. Look, ladies and gents, I'm going to say good night. I will be back tomorrow as always. Same time, same place. I hope you guys have a lovely day tomorrow. Thank you for joining in. Lots of love to you. Take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking Reds.